Is Boots gonna like get a shot this year? You think? Like, do you think this is his year? Like, what do you think, MC? Whether it's Spence, Crawford, maybe a fight with somebody.
I think that Boots gets Spence this year. I think that later in the year, that's the fight that's going to happen within PBC. I don't think that they're interested in doing cross-promotional fights as far as their main stars go. They're not going to do cross-promotionals with Earl, maybe not even Tank, right? That's one of the questions that we've had. So I think Earl is going to have to go out there and face the young guy just the way Bud is going to have to go out there and face Virgil. If not, he's going to have to drop his belts and go up to 154. Who his stablemate is up there at 154. So I'm not really sure they're ready to do that, right? I think Boots is pound per pound talent. Maybe not today, but in the next 2 to 3 years, he's going to be someone that we are going to be tuning in to watch. Everybody.
Nope. I don't see it happen. I think he's going to have to keep parking his Tesla and keep charging it and waiting there until charges fully, because he ain't getting the fight this year. It's just, Spence, when you think about it, he's looking at some other things, and definitely 154 is not an option right now. I think I'm going to probably see Spence and keep Thurman before I see Boots Ennis, in the mix. That's just a reality. And then, Spence is going to be very difficult for him to give him a shot against Virgil. I may see Virgil might having a better opportunity against Spence because of the fact that, De La Hoya and PBC, that's something that we can definitely see in the future. Is it the best interest for Spence? Not really. I had just having a conversation with my neighbor today, and we're talking about who is my best fighter currently right now. And I gave him my
Your neighbor talks boxing with you,
man. And then talking boxing, and he said mine is Crawford. And I looked at him, I'm like, good, I get it. And I asked him why, and he had first thing he said was that he feels like right now Spence and Crawford, that fight needs to happen, but if not, they need legacy fights, and these guys are not going to look into the younger talented guys that are coming up here. Crawford can easily make a move to 154 and challenge any of the guys because he's doesn't have any emotion attached to that. Spence can't do that, so I'd see more Spence trying to still fight someone down at 147. Maybe he'll get a tune-up with someone. Maybe he'll get that Keith Thurman. But Boots Ennis, right now, they're seeing him way too dangerous for him to really cut down, the path that Spence has.
No, we're not going to see that fight. We're going to see Boots is going to fight Karen this week, and then he's going to fight Rashidi Alice next, and that'll probably be his year this year.
That's it?
I think so, but I think that Crawford's probably going to fight Thurman next, and then hopefully they make Crawford. Spence is going to fight Thurman, and then hopefully he fights Crawford. And if he doesn't, he will go to 154. And I don't think Charlo's out of the question for them to match up. So I know a lot of people don't think that will happen. He has never said that he would never fight him. And if anything, when people ask him, he kind of says, "I'll fight anybody." He specifically says that, and he's not a man that just talks crazy. He really isn't. He's really a guy that says, hey, I'll fight this guy. He really means he'll fight this guy. I really believe that. So I think he'll fight Charlo. I don't think that's crazy. I think he'll fight Fedora. I think that's an excellent matchup. I think Castano, who's been talking a little crazy lately, I think he'll fight him. So those I think he has plenty of fights, and I think that really the only thing he wants at 147 is Crawford. That makes sense. Boots, like we were talking about Virgil earlier, hasn't really had that fight to graduate to that point. Now, we all have speculation. The eye test, it's a crazy thing, and we all think this guy might be able to beat all the best guys, but he has not graduated to that level yet. We got to
No, and I agree with Easy Raw, and I agree with MC on one point that they made. I think there's a reason why Boots and Ellis are on the same card, because I think that fight's going to be next. I think that Spence will move up to 154. I think Jamel's going to move up to 160, and I think Jamal's going to move up to 168. I think Jamal is going to fight Demetrius Andrade at some point. I think that's what they're trying to make, and I kind of think Spence will probably go after Fondora. They may fight for some title up there eventually, for a vacant title or something like that. And that's what I see happening. I just don't think that Spence is going to fight Boots Ennis. I just don't think that's going to happen. And Boots will probably have to fight for a vacant title at some point, maybe towards the end of next year, towards the beginning of next year, and towards maybe the end of this year. So I think if Boots fights 3 times this year, he could possibly pick up a vacant title. And I do think that Spence will probably move up. I don't
know. He's not getting his shot. He's falling into that role, kind of like Boo Boo Andrade. And I'm not making any fighting comparison, but he's a high risk, low reward guy. And that's why I was praising Virgil Ortiz and his team with Oscar De La Hoya getting such a bigger name. These are the type of fighters that Boots should have been petitioning to fight, the Stanionis. And somehow Virgil Ortiz is successful in getting that fight. I don't see Virgil Ortiz getting a title fight. I'm sorry. I do not see Boots Ennis getting a title opportunity in 2022 for the foreseeable future. No.
The year of Boots Ennis that he gets a shot.
No.
Why not?
And look.
Okay.
Oops.
You even told it. Come on, really?
Right. But Boots is in a it's not only that he's high risk, low reward, he's in a business spot that's a bit weird. People assume he's with PBC. He's not. He's a Showtime fighter. He's not with PBC. So he fights on PBC cards, but since he's not Al Heyman's not going to be ready to serve him up to his bigger name fighters. He's just not. So he's in one of those positions. He's not a PBC fighter. He's a Showtime fighter. And being that he's strictly with Showtime, he's not going to get the dates that he needs to get because he needs to do one of two things. He needs to go the Gennady Golovkin route and stay active, fight quarterly on like when Golovkin was fighting, he was fighting quarterly on HBO main events. The issue is Boots Ennis isn't going to get quarterly dates with Showtime. He needs to stay active, knock out the best fighters available to him, build an organic fan base, but he's not going to have the Showtime dates to be able to do that because Showtime's not even putting on regular cards anymore. Everything's a pay-per-view. So you're burying this guy on undercards of pay-per-views to where he can't build an organic fan base, and he's not active enough to back guys into corners.
I do agree with the take that Spence will be moving up, right? And Jermell moves up. You could kind of predict the PBC landscape a little bit there. So it is what it is. Let's go ahead and proceed here.